Hey, it's Clay at ClayTrader.com. This will be a live trade video where I try to capture some of my trades as they play out live. A couple quick clarifications. Number one, I'm trading futures. If you don't know what futures are, I'll put a link down below to a free 4-part series that'll walk through the futures market and how it all works. But in a nutshell, one of the great things about futures, no pattern day trader rule, open 23 hours a day, 6 days a week. So just a lot of good things to like about the futures market. And you can go about it in a very low risk way, which brings me to my next point. I am trading futures through a prop firm. So what is a prop firm? How does a prop firm work? Which prop firm am I using? All that can be found at the link up above. But in a nutshell, like I said, a prop firm is a way for you to have very little of your capital at risk, but then you have a whole lot of upside potential. So check that out. And like I said earlier, the market's open basically around the clock. So these are some trades I made actually, quote unquote, last night. So right now it is the morning time, but these trades are all coming from yesterday evening. So that's one of the great things. You can kind of always find a time to trade. And the New York Stock Exchange just opened, and I say that because when the stock exchange opens, you can see right here, if you notice the candle started moving quite a bit, that is where things kind of get a little bit spicier. So we'll see what happens with it, but that's the game plan. So I'll pause the screen recording software for now, and I'll be back as soon as I find a potential trade. All right, looking for a potential short up around this area. Got it right there, just starting small. Took that out for a quick little scalp. So if you blinked, you missed it, but that number used to be lower than what it is right now. So if you want to scroll back, you can see it. But yes, futures can move very quickly. So like I said, just starting small to give myself plenty of wiggle room here. We'll see what it wants to do, if it wants to start to come back down or not. Right now, let's actually check out gold real quick. So what we're just looking at is the MNQ, which is basically the NASDAQ. Here we're looking at gold. All right, so gold, let's go back to the NASDAQ here, I think. There we go. I get short there. Might push up above. There we go. There we go, another quick scalp. Look at this move, wow. I'm gonna try actually a buy now. Well, see if this is just a little bit of a micro pullback here. Again, looking to try a buy if it wants to pull back some. There we go. There we go. Very good. So now you can see right there, that number's just added on up. Oh, I will try another buy right there if it wants to pull back to that area. You can have an order to get long right there at that green line. Got close and is then starting to bounce. At this point, going to come down a little bit. Put my order right there. Well, there's a nice little bounce. Looks like I might have been a little bit off. I mean, that's hindsight for you. All right, I will cancel it out for now, and I will pause, and let's see if I can find another trade on it. Okay, I have an order to get long at that green line there if it wants to make a little bit more of a pullback. I'm going to adjust it down just a tad. Like I said, I want to move it down here a little bit more now. We're going to come down to that area at this point. I'm worried that if it breaks that level now, this area where I was thinking of buying might just be like the initial area where it wants to, push down even further through. I'm going to aim to buy, or at least start my position down there at that green line. All right, well, right now it held fine, but so let's see if it wants to come down to that area or not. All right, I will pause. Well, it came down very close to filling me, but Then, well, it got somewhat close before bouncing back up. So trying to be patient, trying to see if it wants to come back down. But I mean, pretty crazy when you stop and think about it. I mean, we witnessed this big old move here, and then almost has given up that entire gain. All right, like I said, trying to be patient, trying not to force anything. I'll go ahead and pause. All right, I'm going to get short at that red line, and I'm short there and out there. Very good for a quick little scalp. So that was on a different contract. That was on the NQ, which is a little bit more of a volatile one. So I don't remember quite. That number was down in the 200s. Now that's up at 480. So we're actually coming over here now, and I want to get this next buy right there. I'm in. Out there for another scalp. So now that number is up over 300. Again, I'm just pointing these numbers out because I'm assuming maybe you might be a beginner and not know what my platform is. And these are just very fast trades. So yes, that is the power of futures. They move and they can move very quickly. And you can, if you like to scalp, then, look no further. So yes, these numbers do change for just a few brief moments of time before right over here, which is where the realized P&L comes into play. We'll look to buy down at that green line if this pullback wants to continue. We will see, but yeah, nothing fancy, just quick trades, quick little scalps, but it's pretty amazing just how fast things can add up. All right, I'll pause. All right, this one really seems to have some momentum behind it. And therefore, try to catch this momentum here. There we go. Just wanted catch a little bit of the momentum. Sure, there's a chasing element to that too, which is why, I'm not going to sit here and be like, all right, now I want 80 points. It's like, no. And by the way, in futures, things are just measured in points. But again, nice little scalp there, which brought the gains up very nice. And on that, we are about 9:44 a.m., so about 14 minutes in. Now, granted, remember, I started off in the green already. But if you subtract that out, I've added quite a bit to that here in less than 15 minutes. So if anything, hopefully that you see that, if you have a full-time job, you're like, well, I don't have a whole lot of time. Well, here we go. I don't know exactly how much I made, but you're more than welcome to do the math. I guess, I don't know, let me know in the comment section. Where did these numbers start and then where they ended? But point being, in less than 15 minutes, and I'm basing that off of when the New York Stock Exchange opened, because in the world of futures, at that point, that's where things kind of pick up pace and get a little bit more volatile. But in less than 15 minutes, that's how much was made. So, like I said, one of those things where I think sometimes people think, well, I can't do trading because I don't have time for it, or I have a full-time job. Well, that's one of the great things about futures. They move great. They're open essentially around the clock. So I think something definitely worth considering. Maybe that's what I'll title this video. Something worth considering. But I'm going to go ahead and call it good. Before I do go, though, I want to personally invite you to... Whoops, I just noticed that was the wrong graphic. There was a date on that one. There should have not been a date. Anyways, I apologize for that. But yes, I do want to invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering. So if you are a beginner trader, maybe a struggling trader, then definitely get signed up. Now, if you're a rock solid, battle-hardened veteran trader with a great strategy, again, you're welcome to attend. I don't know if you're going to really get anything from it, so my confidence level isn't quite as high. But if you are a beginner trader or a struggling trader, I'm quite confident that this class can offer you some things to think about and maybe just put you on the right pathway within your journey. So check out ClayTrader.com/live, or just go to the link in the description area to learn when the next live class is. So thanks for hanging out. And as an FYI, I do live stream from Monday to Friday, starting at 11 a.m. Eastern. So make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications so that you are reminded of when I do indeed go live. And yeah, come hang out, ask questions, and come see all this stuff with your very own eyes. So thanks for hanging out. Take care.